So we've just come into London for the day. Basically, for those that follow my channel, you'll be aware that I've rented the Pentax 6.7, this beast, for the week. And that week has now come to an end, and begrudgingly I've got to give it back to its rightful owner. So she lives in Hackney, so we've come into London. We've come up a little bit earlier just because I've shot one video of it where I took some portraits of my friend Ashley, which I'll link above. And then I put a couple of rolls through, just kind of using it, shooting some pictures with the family and stuff, just to test it out. But I haven't really kind of put it through its paces too much. So I come to London so we can kind of do some walkabout stuff. And I also organised like a last minute photo shoot with a model who I met on a site called Portra. So yeah, we'll show you the video for today, and then maybe I'll come back at the end and kind of talk to you about how I go about finding models and people to work with, and what sources I use and stuff like that for anyone that's interested. But yeah, we're just waiting. We're at St Catherine's Dock Marina now. The rain keeps starting and stopping, so it's going to be a bit of a running in and out sort of jobby all day. But yeah, we're just waiting for the model now, having a drink, and then we'll get started.
Mm-hmm.
It's older than me, this is. So I know I said at the start of the video that obviously we'd be doing some walkabout stuff as well as the portraits, but as you see from the end, we ended up going to the pub to get some lunch and drink after the photo shoot finished, and in true fashion, when me and my wife are ever away from the kids, we just end up finding somewhere and getting drunk, which is what we did, but yeah, we had a good time. So obviously we just did the portraits, but I mean the whole concept for this video anyway was that it was kind of like a last minute thing. So I rented the Pentax 6.7 for the week. I'd only done one video with it and it had to go back that day. So kind of the night before I thought to myself, oh actually, you know, I've got to go into London anyway, so maybe we could head up a little bit early and do some sort of walkabout photos with the Pentax and put some rolls of film through it. And then kind of last minute, literally the night before, I was like, oh actually I could maybe organise like a quick model photo shoot and stuff and find a model in London. So I used a website called Port. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's just for like models, photographers, makeup artists and stuff like that, and it's ways to kind of find other creative people and share your work. Now I don't really post to it too much, I just kind of use it if I ever need to find someone to work with. So what you do is basically you create a casting on there and you essentially just kind of put in what it is you're looking to do, the date you're looking to do it, the location, stuff like that, and people will respond to your casting if they're interested in working with you. So I mean, I don't usually, obviously a lot of models and people on there, makeup artists, are after an income as well, so they charge like an hourly rate and whatnot. Usually I wouldn't pay a model or a makeup artist unless either A, I am being paid by someone else for a project, and then obviously I will share the wealth out to everyone working on the project, or if it's a specific concept of mine and something that I want to achieve, whether I want to try and get it published or something like that, and then obviously I'll pay the people I'm working with. But if it's just, you know, I want to test out a new camera or practice something, then usually I will do what's called TFP, which stands for time for print, or trade for print, time for photos. I don't actually know the specific term, but it just basically means that you are willing to collaborate. So nobody's paying anyone, you're working for free. Like the photographer's working because they want to practice and take some photos for their portfolio, and the model is doing the same. They just want to practice modeling and get some pictures for their portfolio. So there's loads of websites and stuff out there. Port's one of them. There's one called Mad Cow Models. There's one called Bee Scouted. There's probably more that I don't even know about, but there are things out there. If you're a photographer, you know, struggling to find people to work with and practice on, these are some good sites to use. Obviously I created the casting like late the night before, and then I think I had like 20 odd people respond to it, because obviously London's quite a densely populated area, so you always get good luck in London. Mary was like the third person to respond, and obviously I looked at some of her pictures, and yeah, she was a great model, great to work with, probably one of the easiest models I've ever worked with in terms of communication and everything. And obviously she had nice red hair, which works really well for Portra film stock as well. But yeah, so I mean, other ways I find models as well. Instagram is a good one. I was actually supposed to be going to Tenerife last week, and I was actually going to take the Pentax 6.7 out there with me and shoot some photos while I was there. But because of COVID and everything that's going on, and the fact that, you know, they've advised against all non-essential travel to Spain and the Canary Islands, we ended up having to reschedule and pushed it back to next year. But I had organised a few model photo shoots for when I was out there, so I'd just gone on Instagram and just kind of searched, you know, hashtag Tenerife model, hashtag Tenerife photographer, stuff like that. Wherever you're going, you just kind of search that location followed by model or photographer, and you can kind of see models that have tagged themselves or photographers that have tagged models, and you can go on their profiles. You know, yeah, it kind of sounds like it involves a bit of stalking, but what's the internet for if not stalking people? But yeah, you know, and then just send the model a nice polite message. Don't be a creep, you know. I just said, hey, I'm in Tenerife next week, I'm looking to shoot some film portraits and maybe film some YouTube stuff. I sent, you know, a message to like 5 or 6 people, and 3 of them got back to me. So I had organised a few shoots when I was out there. You know, it's quite easy to do when you're a little bit savvy with it. But yeah, so I mean, that's it for this video. I just thought, you know, in my aim going forwards, obviously I'm trying to keep them entertaining with a little bit of something you can take away from it. So that's why I kind of mentioned how I go about finding models and other creative people to work with. So the whole point of me renting the Pentax and the Mamiya, obviously, I've rented the Mamiya 6.7 a few weeks ago, which I've done a few videos for, and I rented the Pentax 6.7 week just gone. It's literally just because I wanted to try them both out. You know, I'm interested in buying either one of them, and I wanted to try before I buy. I do that with most things just because it's a lot of money to drop on a camera, and especially if I was to buy one and then realise I didn't like it, I'd have to go through the hassle of selling it and stuff like that. So I've definitely made my mind up after a week with both cameras, and the camera that I have decided on is the Mamiya RZ6.7. Just because, well, I say just because, there's many reasons actually. The Pentax 6.7 it's an amazing camera. It's a beast. It's heavy. More specifically, the Pentax 105mm 2.4 lens is just beautiful. It's stunning. You can get some amazing images with it. But saying that, it is very tricky to focus. I was finding that I was probably only getting like 5 or 6 photos in focus out of a roll, so that's kind of like 50-60%, you know, of the photos in focus, and the rest of them were just unusable because I was missing focus on it. And I'm sure there are ways you can get better of it, and you know, there's things you can do, but it was insanely difficult. Whereas with the Mamiya RZ6.7, you've got, you know, the waist level viewfinder, and I know you can get the eyepiece and stuff as well, but it's so easy to focus. It's got such a lovely big bright screen that, you know, I was getting 90 to 100% of my photos all in focus. Not only that, but just kind of like the design and in the way they work and stuff. Like the Pentax 6.7 is more of like a kind of a DSLR vibe, SLR vibe, sorry. And I mean, I don't know if you saw in the video, obviously I stupidly wore a hat that day, and I had hat hair and stuff, so because I had to tip it sideways when shooting portrait, I had to put my hat back. You know, I wasn't trying to be cool and hip or anything, I just had to do it because the camera's so bloody big. Whereas with the Mamiya RZ6.7 you don't have that problem because you can just rotate the back to portrait and landscape. It's much, much easier. There's just something about the Mamiya that speaks to me, and for my use, essentially I'm going to use the camera for portraits, landscapes, and just shots of my family and stuff like that, and it just fits me much better than the Pentax. So yeah, so hopefully in a not too distant future, when funds allow, I'm going to be picking up a Mamiya RZ6.7 Pro 2 with the 110mm 2.8 lens, and then I'll probably pick up a wider lens for landscapes and a longer lens for some more portraits and stuff like that. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you, if you are a viewer, I hope you've enjoyed the journey of me kind of sussing out which one I want to go for. I've actually really enjoyed like renting cameras and trying them out and stuff like that, and it's probably something that actually I'm going to continue going forwards with. So using things like Fat Llama is a really great resource for film cameras and stuff like that. And there's still, you know, although I've decided on which medium format 6x7 camera I'm going to go for, there's still other cameras out there that I would love to try and use, things that, you know, I might one day want to own. Things like the Leica M6, I'd really love to try a Leica. I've never tried a Leica in my life, and I know I can rent them, so I'm thinking about getting one of those. The Mamiya 7, you know, Hasselblad. There's loads of things that I want to try, and you know, why not try them? You know, I can rent them for less than £100 for a week when money allows, and you know, try them out, and then I can create content and videos for you guys in case there's anyone out there that's also interested in seeing kind of the results you can get from these cameras. But yeah, that's enough for now. I'm going to stop blabbing on because I'm probably boring you all. Thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please click subscribe. It means a lot to me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, just because it's the goal I've set myself, so I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next video.